me, maintaining tools is really one of the most important parts of being a gardener. Often overlooked by people I know, but when we care for our tools, I feel like that gives a lot of meaning to our work. Well, it does for me anyway. I really like to keep my tool kit quite minimal and very intentional, because when you're running a landscape business, it's easy just to collect more and more tools. But when we have a minimal toolkit and we specialise in our offering, we can keep the tools that really mean something to us. For example, this pair of Felco 2 secateurs. 17 years ago now, my brother gave these to me as a present. He had been using these professionally for 7 years, and now I've been using them professionally for 17 years. So these have been in my family for a long time, and because I've cared for them, they still treat me well. Just sanding off a bit of the debris and build up on the blade. Just using this little sanding block. What I'll do with these is I'll give them a little sand, a bit of a sharpen, and then a bit of oil, and they'll be good to go. At one point in my business, I had built up my client base, and I was trying to offer everything really, all areas of landscape, and I felt like that was what I needed to do. But there was so much relief when I said no, and I got rid of a lot of my landscaping tools that I've been collecting for years, narrowed that down and specialised them, and really just kept the tools that meant something to me. And now I've got quite a minimal toolkit, but my offering is specialised. And the tools I do have, I really love and care for. Sanding done. Now I've just got this quite fine grit sharpening stone, which I'm going to take to the blade. How I do this is I just do very small circular motions at the angle of the bevel. When you're doing a bigger or more intense maintenance of your tools, it's good to take them apart. But I recently maintained these secateurs, so I'm going to just keep the blade on the handle. There we go, nice and sharp, ready to go out and do some pruning. Some people will agree with using it, some people won't, but I usually use WD-40 because WD-40 cleans the moving joints, but it also oils them, so it's just an easy go-to. Just spray a little bit in there. And then I usually carry around with me some of this blue paper, and I'll just wipe any excess off and oil all of the metal parts, and that just helps protect it from rust and getting that WD-40 into the joint helps that smooth movement and getting some of that in the spring. And that's working as good as new, even though it's seen 24 years of professional gardening use. I know a lot of people now in the UK, professional gardeners, are moving to Nwaki. I know a lot of people now in the UK, professional gardeners, are moving towards using Nwaki as their favoured secateurs. But these have just never let me down, and the fact that they've seen 24 years of professional gardening use and still working so well, you just can't really beat that. Here are some of my favourite tools. My Fornic trowel, full stainless steel trowel from a collaboration with Sneeborough Tools between me and them. A good pair of Felco loppers. I got through so many pairs of loppers before I bought these, always breaking them on branches too big for them. Particularly those ones with the little gearing system, they always break on me. Whereas these Felco, not Felco, sorry. Whereas these steel loppers I've had for many years and pushed through branches far too big for them. They're simple but solid and last the test of time. These Baco shears are a French tool company, and these are absolutely solid. I actually got these from a car boot sale for £3 and saw that they were high quality. These could do with a bit of maintenance now. I haven't used them in a little while. And once again, bought these maybe 10 years ago, and they've never let me down. And they're just a solid pair of shears. And that's the thing with gardening tools, is if you buy good quality tools, you buy them once. Buy poor quality tools and they break within a season and you have to buy another pair. They're also just much more pleasurable to use. You get a good set of tools and it reduces strain in your body and just makes the job much more pleasurable. I particularly like where I'm at now with my tools, with this quite minimal selection where I only keep the tools that really work for me, and each tool has quite a history, and that means that when I use them it does bring more meaning to my work, particularly when then I spend time caring for them, and it really does give value to these tools that have been a part of my practice for so many years. Couldn't go without a good silky saw. This one's quite a small one. This is the Pocket Boy, but very versatile. And once you've used the silky saw and you go back to a non-silky saw, you really realise the quality in the craftsmanship of these saws. And I usually just change a blade now and again, and this really doesn't let me down. This is a good one because you can put it in your pocket, climb up a tree, do some pruning. Now I've got my little Nwaki bag, and in here I've got my Nwaki sickle. This is really good for cutting back perennials and grasses when you grab a clump and you cut through them, quite a controlled fashion. Nwaki weeding hoe. This is actually a really versatile tool. highly recommended. And what every gardener should have, a good hurry ho for weeding, and well, once you've had one, you realise how versatile they are, and you use it for so many jobs. Should always be on your side. This is my selection of small hand tools that I've brought away with me in the van to Mallorca. Now, I've got more tools at home, but these are like the essentials that I would take to any job. One of the keys with all of your tools is to maintain a sharp point. It's often neglected when it comes to spades. When I'm at home, what I'll do is I'll take a angle grinder to the edge of my more rough tools like spades and things. But whilst I'm here, I'll take a steel file and just take that to the edge of it to maintain a sharp point, and that means it just makes it so much easier when you're digging into the soil, planting things, or whatever that is. Some of my favourite gardening gloves are these Gold Leaf Soft Touch. I do like a good pair of leather gloves because they're just very soft, comfortable, and move well on your hands, allowing your skin to breathe. These seem to last well, and yeah, I definitely recommend them. I haven't maintained new shears in a little while. I haven't really used them that much lately, to be honest. So it's easily done when you don't use something for it to sit around and build up a little bit of rust, but they deserve a bit of maintenance to get them back into good shape. And then I'm going to use them on this rosemary. Difference it makes from having a tool that's well maintained compared to one that's rusty, the joints aren't oiled, and it's not sharp, it's huge. Really, particularly when you're a professional gardener and you're spending all day with that tool, it can really take its toll on your body having a tool that isn't well maintained. I think there's a certain beauty as well in maintaining your tools, caring for them and giving value to them, seeing how they are an important part of your trade, important part of your craft. What I'm doing now is I'm just going to remove a bit of this rust and build up of material on the blade with this sandpaper. Then I'm going to give them a bit of a sharpen and an oil, and then they should be working as good as new. Now a bit of WD-40 in the joint, and I'll wipe that across the blade to remove any debris, clean them and treat the steel. These are good now. Here we have olive tree I'm going to prune, a young tree, doing formative pruning, where we're setting the tree up for the later years of its life. Having a good sharp pair of secateurs, or any tool in that matter, it really reduces the strain on your body and makes the job much easier. Because if you have a pair of secateurs that move smoothly, they've got a sharp blade, it means that your job is much easier and it reduces strain on your hand. And that's why it's so valuable to spend that bit of time once a week or before you start a job maintaining your tools so they work at their absolute best. If you found this useful or helpful, press subscribe and you'll see more coming from me on horticultural tips and ecological gardening lessons. I hope you have a lovely day and see you again soon.